Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is George. If it's your first time here, if you're returning, you've heard this intro many times. We are in my workshop again. We're going to be converting yet another IS300. I've got Ollie's here. He's a subscriber as well as a customer. So what I want to do, it's something that I covered in past. I've done a 3-part video series on how to convert the IS300. I just wanted to make something a lot shorter. So obviously you can just look it up in say 10 minutes and also show you this awesome car. I think it's awesome. It's got amazing big wing on the back. I've got a soft spot for them. I just haven't got the balls to pull the trigger to put it on one of my cars. But the first thing, we're gonna look at some parts that you're gonna be needing. It's something that you can, if you do it yourself, obviously your labor is for free. It's something that you can do if you really shop around for about £1,000. So what's that, $1,300 maybe in America. So yeah, it's something that's definitely worth looking into. These cars are getting more expensive, so snap one before you can. So it's the IS300 with the 2JZ motor. If you've got another JZ car, you can try and apply similar stuff to that chassis, but this conversion is very easy because everything's pretty much bolt on, including the prop shaft. So stay tuned. Let's have a look at the parts that we're gonna need. This is what you're going to need for the conversion. You're going to need an IS200 gearbox. You're going to need some oil as well. I think they take 2.1, so you've got 2 liters here. You're going to need an IS200 front half of the prop shaft. You're going to need the manual surround. You are going to need a clutch line. This is for a Mark IV Supra. I believe all the 90s Toyota are the same. Then you got the manual boot surround. If you want to go really far, you can get the cutout for the tunnel and spot weld it and seam seal it in. I don't think it's necessary. You just have to make the automatic hole a little bit bigger. Or I think it's MCL Autoworks, who are also the people that make this bell housing, do sell a metal mate adapter plate that you bolt into the automatic holes, and then you can bolt this boot onto that metal bit. I think he sells it for £50. Then you're going to need a brake pedal. You do not necessarily need the bracket. You literally just undo this 214s and swap just the actual pedal. You're going to need a master and a slave cylinder, and then you're going to need a clutch pedal with its bolts and the bracket as well. And also you're going to need a clutch and flywheel from a W58 JZ car. Just bear in mind there also was it a 7M engine that also had a W58 gearbox. It is the wrong flywheel. It has to be a JZ car. You're also going to need an emulator. This is from Phoenix Management in the UK, and it's got some resistors in there, so the ECU still thinks it's an automatic, so it behaves the way it should. Now I covered everything you're going to need. At least I think I didn't forget anything, otherwise it'd be pretty embarrassing making a video and not remembering, would it? Anyway, so the first thing we're going to do, get rid of all the automatic stuff we're not going to need. So we're going to take the car in the air, drain the oil and get the gearbox out. First drain the oil, then onto the converter bolt. It seems I started making a full video again. I'm getting well into it, so I'm going to stop here. This is a quick sort of point guide video, so I'm going to remove the gearbox. If you don't know how to do it, please refer to the previous video. You can message me, I don't care, I'll reply, I'll always reply. So remove the automatic gearbox and then I'll decide. Remember, always leave the easy bolts last. So let's undo these two, I hope. Now the gearbox should be ready to come out. Oh yes. Next up, we're going to swap the bell housing. This is the MCL and we're going to put it on the J160 IS300 Lexus. Let's do it. Next up is the clutch. Customer has decided to buy the dreaded XTD clutch from the States. Personally, I never had a bad experience. I do think they changed the design of these clutches as well because they're now sprung. This is unsprung unless it's the different model. The clutch and flywheel, I think you can get it for about £300 delivered, which is not bad considering it comes with the flywheel bolts and they seem to be decent as well. So the only thing with these XTDs is to make it appear more racing. They obviously powder coated red, and then the dowel pins, they don't want to go through the holes. You just need to give it a quick sort of blast with a file so that it fits on. So let's put it on. Always a good practice to change the rear main while you're here. They're not that expensive and saves you from having a bad day. There we go. Always a good practice to put some rubber grease on the sill. Keeps it fresher for longer. Hey. Next up is the gearbox. Can sometimes be a little bit tricky because of the adapter as well. That makes the bell housing a little bit bulky. It's something that definitely has to be done on ramp. I don't think you can do this and wiggle it in there on the floor. So if you were thinking of DIY, forget it. The hardest part of the conversion is done. That's putting the gearbox in as well as all the bolts. Next up, we're going to put the mount on and the prop shaft afterwards, and that's pretty much all done underneath. When I said we are pretty much done underneath, what I was meant to say, I'm not done at all. So what I've done is fill up the gearbox with some oil. I've also bled the clutch line and I bypassed the neutral switch. Now all that's left, it's all from the top of the car. So last thing we're gonna do is the emulator for the ECU. We're gonna finish off the pedals. The customer started the pedals, we just gotta finish them off. And we're gonna finish off the interior surround with all the sound in. So first up, let's do the pedals. It's a little bit awkward. Not entirely sure if I can film it, but I'll obviously try. With regards to the pedals, the customer has started already. The brake pedal, you only have to swap the pedal itself. You don't have to swap the bracket. Customer sourced the pedal from a non-sport IS300. I do have one from a sport, so as a good business owner, I'm gonna swap it for him. Plus, Ollie, when you're watching this video, when I use this pedal, it's gonna suit the Crown better rather than the sport one. So I think it's a win-win for me and you. It's gonna be all uniform in your car, and it's gonna be all uniformed in the Crown. Regarding the clutch, you have to install the whole assembly. The automatic car, the lighting's terrible, sorry about that. The automatic car does have all the provisions for the bracket. So first up, I think we're gonna swap the pedal. Last but not least is the wiring. So we need to wire in this emulator into the ECU. So yeah, I've raised the car up so I don't have to bend down because this car is particularly low. Let's just get started. And there you guys have it. That's another IS300 converted to a manual. I really wanted to have this car on the channel. I think it looks amazing. Judge me, think whatever you can. I just think it looks great. So yeah, this is obviously a shorter video compared to the 3-part which I've made, left in the description below. Without sounding like a dick, if you don't understand this guide, have a look at the 3-part one. If you don't really understand that one either, then perhaps you shouldn't be doing this conversion. You can give me a shout and I can do it for you. Now I made myself sound like a dick. It's all complete and we are done for today. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.